Pizza delivery.
Oh my God.
Pepperoni.
Oh.
Hawaiian. Vegetarian. And gluten-free.
Hello and good evening for this Wednesday, May the 8th, 2024. We have just finished watching the 11th episode of Survivor 46 titled My Messy Sweet Little Friend. Say hello to my messy sweet little friend. But we're just getting started here on Super Mario Brothers Podcasting for our live stream review to talk all about this episode. Spoilers ahoy, as we'll be breaking it all down. I'm Dave Mader, joined with Jaemeel Robinson and Josh Foster. How are you guys doing tonight? Jaemeel?
I'm doing fine.
Pizza delivery, Josh Foster. How are you doing?
Oh, this is a reward I could get on board with. Okay, Dave. You know what? Like, my big problem with the episode was that the fact that they really should have done like a split, like, because it was like an hour and a half, right? Like, it didn't seem like the challenge was early, and like I don't know, it just seemed like everything was like just kind of, they could have split the reward and the challenge separately, and then like pizza and beer.
Pizza and beer. Yeah. Well, I feel like this episode covered 2 days of the show, whereas I feel like the last couple episodes were a little bit more brief into the amount of time that passed in days. But the pacing was a little off for me too. Jaemeel, what are your thoughts on tonight's episode? As my draft pick, Venus, our fellow Canadian, she gets voted out here with an idol in her pocket. And this is historic. Three in a row in the same season, all with idols in their pocket, don't play their idols, get voted out, and no one, I don't think, really knew for sure Venus had one. I think Charlie looked like he suspected the most, or he was just kind of done with her, and it wasn't hard to form a coalition to get out Venus. And Q survives another day. This guy,
He's shooting the moon.
He might be an unlikely winner. However, I feel like right now, it's got to be Charlie's game to win. I feel like it's going to be the Charlie is the winner of this season. I will be very surprised if it's not Charlie. 2 weeks from now, we'll know. But we'll see.
Honestly, it felt like it was turning for Venus in this episode. Like she was kind of getting like a little bit of power. And I'm like, well, she's got to play the idol at this point, right? And then it's like, wait, she's going to play it, right? It's like, okay, she didn't. Is she sure that she's not going to get any votes? I'm like, 1 vote, okay. 2 votes, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, once you got 2 votes, you're done, Venus. She like, and Ben throws a random vote onto Kenzie. In this tribal, I'm still trying to process why that strategic vote. I thought Ben and Kenzie got along.
They do. The ending just seems very muddled, and I know they're going to talk about it in the beginning of the first episode of the next episode, and it's always annoying. It happening once in a while where they kind of discuss the vote, fine, but this now reoccurring, like the first segment is just talking about the last vote, just taking up all that time, and we're going to get it again next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that. I don't know. Like, obviously this historic thing with 3 idols getting voted out in a row. They always talk about James getting voted out with 2 idols in his pocket. I don't think anything will, maybe this comes close to a season where we had 3 in a row. This could become noteworthy in a similar way. The time will tell. And I went on a roller coaster, guys, in this episode as a guy who drafted Venus purely. I didn't really know anything about her coming into the season. I knew she was the only Canadian on the cast. Would not have drafted her if I really understood her personality. Well, if you count Helen or whatever, but she's
Helen. Wow, you're gonna tell her to make some rice now too, Dave?
No, she left. She went to San Francisco. She abandoned the country.
Still makes her Canadian. That's like saying Daryl isn't Canadian.
Expatriate, they've left the land. Her bio says San Francisco, California. Not Toronto.
And folks, before you jump on Dave or me making the jokes about him telling Jessica to make rice, that's a reference. That is a reference to Big Brother,
15,
right? And Helen, the other
the other Helen.
The other
Yeah,
Helen.
another Helen.
So,
Yeah.
Dave is a good boy.
Yeah,
Don't jump down his throat. Okay.
Thank you, Jaemeel. Thank you for
No
prefacing
problem.
that. I was not That's not where I was going. I was just but anyway, Venus, Canadian, says Toronto, Ontario on her bio. I also have Liz in this draft because I had the first pick and I got the last pick, which ended up being Maria. Not Liz, sorry, Maria. And Maria, she looked like she was really doing well in this episode. And then her game kind of falls apart in this episode too. And I was like, look at my 2 draft picks. Look at Venus, look at Maria. They're killing it in this game. And then by the end of this episode, Venus is gone. Maria's like been painted like this villain who took Q on a reward over Liz in a rock paper scissors move. That's another historic moment, I think, in Survivor, where somebody I've never seen, just how this played out in the episode, watching somebody deliberate for the better part of I don't know, it felt like 5 minutes.
That was cut. That was longer than what we saw on television.
Right. We're talking about how Ben is starving to death and Ben needs a pizza, but we have 5 minutes here to deliberate who will go on the reward. And I think Maria knows that she's supposed to take Liz, out of some sort of taking the person who needs it the most in the game. She could have maybe taken Venus on this kind of idea, but no, she takes Q.
I think
why not Charlie? Why not take Charlie? No, Charlie
said he didn't want to.
Charlie took himself out of it. But
Dave Foster, we are possibly coming up to maybe one of the most hated final 3s in Survivor history. People don't like Q, and the only reason Q is still there is because Maria is dragging him down the line. People would rather give someone who they don't like, which is Q, more food than give Liz food. Right?
Right. Well, I think that this is Foster. You've been quiet here. What are your thoughts on how the reward was chosen here by Maria and her choosing to take Q over Liz? I know you're not a fan of Liz.
It's just it's like the meme where I don't know exactly which one it is, but it's basically it's the stages of how you're watching something just degress, get worse and worse. And it's basically at the beginning, you're just okay, Maria won. Great. Okay. Okay. She picked Ben. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Why
is she? Wait, no, I'm not done, Dave. I'm not done. Why is she taking so long? Wait, she's not picking Venus? Wait, rock, paper, scissors. What the hell? I can say that, right?
You can say what the hell. Sure.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. Oh my God, it's Q. and then I didn't even realize in the moment that he had also just been on the reward challenge. Right, that was I see on the cake just later on in the episode for those who weren't aware of it, like myself.
It's so funny.
He had just got the Applebee's, and he admits he's I didn't need to go on this reward, but I'm glad I did. I don't feel guilty.
23 slices of pizza.
23. That was quite the moment watching him eat all the pizza while Liz is dying back at camp. She got a little piece of a licorice here by the end in the tribal council, which I think we need to touch on that. Just Jeff handing out candy at tribal now. What has happened in this new era, Jaemeel?
People are gonna start bringing trick-or-treat bags now to tribal council, because what is he doing? He's just dropping in treats now.
Was this a way of getting food to Liz without indirectly?
Yeah, they're avoiding a lawsuit because she's the did you see the online messaging that she is the in charge, the creative marketer for Applebee's?
She's chief creative officer for Applebee's.
People are making a joke because of what her position is. Isn't it? She's chief marketing strategist.
I know she does. She has a few different companies,
yes.
But I don't know what those companies are.
People were trying to link her to Applebee's, saying that that's where she's working, and that's why she was so heavy on the Applebee's marketing and branding.
So she's kind of in the same. She's probably in a similar world as me. marketing strategist. You know, I'm not kind of sure what kind of marketing, because marketing is very broad as a term. So, but you know, she turns off her phone, guys. Remember, when she goes to Applebee's on Wednesdays.
Turn us off after every episode, Dave. Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know, like this stuff with Liz, are you not entertained by like this drama that's playing out with her you and
oh
you know?
my goodness, she's so I don't one thing I don't like, Dave and Jaemeel, is when someone gets attention when they don't deserve it, in my opinion. In my opinion, she does not deserve it because she's acting rather
petulant.
Sure. Yeah, self-centered or you know, like just absorbed, or like it's yeah. It's never about the game, it's never other people. It's just anyways. If you knew you were gonna suffer, then don't come on the show.
Or not understand that suffering is part of it, and don't look, ultimately it feels like in terms of the game, the skin that she has in the game is different from other people, because other people are like, this is $1 million, situation or a decision, or that was $1 million move, and hers is like, I really want to go to Applebee's. Why couldn't I get the pizza? Right?
She can't even get the gluten-free pizza.
That was my move, right? And this was my move. Look, there's so many moves you can make in this game. You complaining because someone beat you to the punch, that's on you. Okay.
Kenzie says that.
I know this week, but last week it was her saying, I wanted to vote that person out. Congratulations. I want to vote out everyone because I want to win the game. Like, why are you complaining? They're gonna do the exact same thing that you want to do, which is last to the end.
Well, yeah, like what Kenzie was kind of crying in this episode to start it off, where she was like, it was my idea to get out Tiffany, and all I thought to myself was like, it's not that's not like an original idea to want to get out another player, because ultimately to win Survivor you have to get out most of these people, all but 2 others, really.
Dave, at Final Tribal, I'm gonna complain and say it was my idea to win Survivor. How dare you steal that from me?
You know what? It was my idea to go to Tribal Council and have to cast a vote and to take licorice from Jeff. It was my idea, and then it was stolen by Jeff himself.
It was my idea to be a fan of the show, damn it. Like, honestly, like, get out of here. Why are you even on this show? They should just give me the check. I showed up, didn't I?
Well, I guess I guess our empathy for the pouring of their hearts out from some of these contestants this season, like Kenzie, I think maybe we don't have it. But guys, did you feel for Liz when Q, it ended up being Q who goes on this reward over her?
Cackled with laughter. Cackled.
Yeah,
I was.
I felt bad for her. I'm like, I was unprecedented for me. Like I've never seen. I can't remember somebody else doing something like this in a previous season. Can you, Jaemeel? Like,
no, it's great. That's why it's great.
It's incredible. Like,
it's spiteful at this point. It's spiteful.
Like, I didn't really see this coming from Maria. Because coming into, like, I saw an interview with Tiffany from last week where she said what wasn't shown last week in the when Q didn't take Liz onto Applebee's and everything else, is that Maria and Kenzie both tried to give their spots away to Liz, and Q said, no, I didn't pick Liz. Liz does not get to go.
Oh, they should have left that in. That would have been great. I would have loved that. No, you can't. You can't
come to Applebee's. I won this reward, and I'm saying no Applebee's for Liz, right? That's even better. If you think about like prior to Heroes versus Villains, there was definitely more of this idea in reality TV of being a villain. Like deliberately sort of, making a splash by, maybe not doing the right thing, maybe sort of being an antagonist. And I felt like that had really gone away, since especially in this new era where people are more concerned with their reputations and like how they're going to live on social media and whatever into perpetuity. I feel like Q is a bit of a Renaissance man, like a bit of a
He don't care. He
Yeah.
doesn't.
He doesn't care. He doesn't really care how he's perceived or if he's hated, And what was interesting to me was like, after Maria does this thing and she, at tribal council tonight, Venus really went at her, and said, hey, it was fucked up. I can't believe you did that. And da da da. And Maria was like, well, that stabs me like daggers. What you're saying to me, like, she was really like trying to sell this idea. I'm like, no, I had to come down to rock, paper, scissors. That was the only way to do proper justice. Like that was the only thing that would appease the thing. And like, ultimately, I think Liz had it. Was like, if you want to take Q just because he's your number one, then just say that, right?
Technically, I don't think she's wrong at all when she says that.
Yeah, you're not obligated to tell the truth, but
yeah, there's also no obligation for you to kind of, save their feelings about it. If you wanted to go to Applebee's, you should have won the competition. If you wanted pizza, you should have won. Everyone was at the end at the same time. And I screwed up enough times that you could have caught up if you were really good enough, but you weren't. So winners get the hot dogs, okay? Losers get rice at home with Venus, okay? That's what happened.
Hot dogs are for closers, to be
Hot dogs are for closers.
Right.
That's the next thing. They have to do hot dog. Gluten-free hot dogs. Okay, wait. Thank you for putting a picture of the pizza. That pizza looks like ass.
Yeah, it looks like terrible pizza. It's no Applebee's. Pizza.
I want was it Dave Portnoy to come and review that pizza because there's no toast on the undercarriage. That looks way too light. The crust doesn't look baked enough.
It looks like those pizzas you get at resorts, and like they're like, we don't really make pizzas here, I don't know if pizza's big in Fiji, or if you.
But there's barely any sauce.
Yeah.
Like, look, is that hot sauce? What is that on the table? Is that hot sauce?
It's a little jar, bottle of hot sauce. What does it say? Like Bula pizza is like what the box says.
Yeah, Bula.
Yeah.
Let me do a little research.
Yeah, but it didn't look like great pizza. It's no Applebee's. Oh, guys, and just we have to see this moment here with the rock paper scissors.
So great.
And just the look on Liz's face there in the moment where she has lost the rock paper scissors. If she had won the rock paper scissors,
oh, you would have seen a celebration that few have ever seen. She would have been like, it would have been her Super Bowl. Look, Maria, it looks like she's laughing.
Maria's almost laughing at this at the like just the is this cruelty? Does Liz deserve this?
This is great.
Is this just like the fun of reality TV? Liz hasn't pooped in 3 weeks, guys. There might be a medical emergency. We should get her a Twizzler.
I'm more concerned about Tim. We never got an update on that.
Yeah, we never heard of like the constipation ever end. You can always. That's effed up, he says. Kenzie can't believe it.
She's laughing too. Look,
there's a smirk there from Maria. And I was just like, Maria, what are you doing? Just like in this episode, I was like, Venus, what are you doing? Why are you like telling Charlie you kind of
have something up my sleeve?
I might have an idol, because I was so proud of Venus earlier in the episode where she says, there's no benefit to telling anybody I have this. I was like, correct. You don't need to tell anybody. But the thing with Venus was I think she was starting to get better, but then it's too late. She was the learning curve was too steep here for Venus. If she was playing a 39-day season, I think she maybe could have done better.
Yeah. She had an unfortunate circumstance or twice where people that she was working with got taken out of the game, and she just did not have really a lot of footing as the thing goes on.
I really liked how Ben described her in this episode, where he says to Charlie, "She's a poser. She's a."
And he said it like right away too. Like it was kind of like the most crazy. It was like almost like an instinct. It was like under his breath, he's just like such a poser, always a poser.
always a poser, always freaking out. I don't like the energy. It's no good. They have to get, but then they were like, we hate Q as well, right? And what do we
Well,
do
it's
about
kind of
Q?
funny that like there's this like it almost seems like half the tribe is there just kept around, and the other half is playing serious, but they're not playing against each other just yet.
Yeah, well, I feel
Like
like there was.
Charlie, Maria, and Ben and Kenzie seem like pretty safe.
If Maria hadn't won this immunity, I think she would like very well could have been the target here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
I
like
was just like, Charlie, don't don't win this, please. You're doing way too well.
yeah, like I think Charlie, yeah, Charlie's in that position where he's played a good game, but he doesn't have a lot of big moves. Although Venus was it Venus describing his game, or maybe it was Kenzie who was describing his game as sort of like not a big resume, doesn't have it much to say. Seems like he's been Maria's. I can't remember if it was Venus or Kenzie who was describing him like that, but
No, you're right. But the issue is when they get Maria out, and it really feels like they're going to get Maria out.
yeah,
All of the moves that were given to both of them are going to be his because he's still there.
sure, he inherits that almost, right?
Yeah. Right. And people might say, well, those are Maria's moves. And he's like, no, we did it, all the way together. And she'll back it up. So he'll get that credit.
And he's like, well, he's a law student, right? So I think he can make a compelling case to the jury should he get to the end here. And he's not really anybody's first target right now. Like, sure, he's a threat, but like it seems like Maria is considered to be more of a threat, especially coming off this Tiffany thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then she does this thing with the pizza and take Q on the reward, and I don't think that helped her case to win this game. And Venus kind of like said what she said about her at Tribal, and we saw here that Maria was actually crying, like had a tear coming down her face. Maybe it's what Venus said, and being sort of labeled as the villain of Pizzagate. Maybe it's Pizzagate, maybe it's Rock Paper Scissors Gate. I'm not sure. I think it's Pizzagate because a lot of it was about how the pizza losers want to vote out Maria, right? And I was like, this is the new alliance, the pizza losers. But ultimately, Venus was a pizza loser, and she got voted out.
Yeah.
But if like where my train of thought before this was, if they hadn't gotten out Q or Venus tonight, and somehow, like, let's say Maria was the one to go tonight, or even was Charlie who went tonight, like you get down to like the final 7 here, and who do you got in the final 7? You have Q, you got Venus, you got Liz. This is like, you got a lot, like 3 players right there that would be sort of goats to take to the end, but at the same time, like they're like half the group, and you don't know how this is going to play out going into the final 3 or 4. Like you saw Venus's conversation with Charlie where he was just like, final 4, huh? And then she's like, yes, but I will tell you later if we don't get Q. You have to help me get Q out, and then I will tell you later how this will work. I think that conversation alone got her voted out, potentially.
Yeah. I laughed. I was like, oh man, she has a good head on her in terms of this game. And then right after, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? What is she doing? Just torpedoing her own game. It was brutal. So brutal.
Yeah. I'm kind of jumping around all the place tonight, guys. Different topics, different things. But like, I wanted to talk to Foster about the challenge, not the challenge to show, but the challenge here in the episode. I
didn't show up for that, Dave. I showed up for the real challenge. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Well, my question being, like, since like the big comp beasts like Tiffany, Hunter have been voted out now, you saw that this challenge went pretty late tonight. It was very neck and neck. Venus nearly won this. Ends up being Maria that wins it. But like this snake puzzle, I can't remember if they've done this before, but this seemed challenging.
This looks really it like, I'm obviously not, if you didn't think that there was, because I didn't think there was, Dave, then I don't think it. There's a good chance it hasn't happened before, right? Because
I've seen the
it seemed
ball, like the ball and the stick thing before, but I don't know if I've
yeah,
seen this.
like that seemed like I understand that, but like just the way that this was set, even with the obstacles, like it wasn't even like it was a maze, right? Like it was a snake with like the pucks or whatever, right, blocking the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, you had to sort of like, but it seemed like the ball was pretty stable on this platform. I don't know. It looked weirdly so, but if you, I guess, and it felt like this, the course you had to go on sort of had dips and hills and sort of things about it as you went through it.
I was really this final part of the challenge, like you said, I think it probably went on for at least 10-15 minutes. This last part of the challenge.
If Hunter was in this challenge, how fast would he have done it?
Oh, I don't think I think with him, I feel like he would have been prepared for like the holding, like the holding the stick, because there was a few of them who seemed like they were pretty steady. But I think that you're right. I think he probably would have won this one though.
Yep,
he would have figured out the quickest.
Yeah, I was impressed with Maria, but she didn't like win it by much here. Like, you know, it was pretty like it felt like anyone could have won this challenge tonight, which is a good thing. I think like so it's kind of an interesting like final group here as we go into like the final 7, 6, you know, and so forth. Because I just don't think that there's any like Charlie's done well. You know, depending on what it is, it seems like he could probably win an immunity.
I think he knew well enough not to win this challenge.
Right, but he's very capable. Like, you know, we saw what he's done in some of these previous ones. Where he beat Hunter, of course, and you know that led to Hunter getting out. Yeah, it was kind of. I thought that this challenge actually made good TV tonight. Would you say?
I would say so. Especially,
It was good. I was really, like I said, like I think that like the beginning was, you know, no, I don't think it was standard. In terms of the paw on the peg or whatever, or the post or whatever, but the last part was, I thought it was, I don't know what else to say, because I'd never really seen it before, right? And just the way that they designed it and the way that they kind of had it at the end of the challenge, not as like the only thing, like it was just really well done.
Yeah, I thought
probably
it was
my top arc of the season.
There you go. So yeah, went on and on, of course, and then we talked about everything here with Maria. Maria's won 2 immunities now, so I feel like Maria and Charlie both looking good, going sort of like that from that standpoint in terms of what their comp wins, whatever that means to you, maybe. And then of course everything that happened here. Ben, she talked about Ben. Ben is starving. Poor Ben. He's wasting away. And then Ben looked like he was like, look, Ben does look sort of not well. You know, as he was coming out here, like he was emotional as he got this pizza.
But he just doesn't complain. That's probably the whole thing.
Yeah. He just
like Ben is the genuine, like everyone's gonna say, oh, he's so genuine, he's funny. Would they award him $1 million? No, I don't think so.
No, why?
Because like I don't think he would be in the final 3 in the first place. So I don't think I would even have to put my theory up to the test.
He's like, I'm no poser, Jaemeel. I'm like he's here to play.
I think he's here to survive right now at this point because there's no agency at all.
Yeah, well, it feels like he's trying to like survive. He's probably, you know, just not used to this kind of experience. Just looking back at some of these, like their pregame bios here with Ben. What past Survivor player would you like to play the game like? Nick Wilson or Cody Asenmacher? Liz claimed she was going to play like Russell
Hines, which is like what? What? Unless
that means you have to get up and do something.
She slept through the entire idol hunt. I laughed so much.
She was looking for it, Jaemeel. Everybody was looking for it.
She was trying to, you know, vision, you know, have a vision, have a vision of her getting it, right, and then achieving right? And in the middle of that, that's when Venus got it. But she was in the middle of the achievement. Once she woke up, she would have went straight to the idol. That's what I heard.
Yeah, like why Liz was up that early in that morning, but she didn't look like she was hunting for it too much. And then Venus finds it, just get loaded out with it. Like, what a story. I have no shots here of her of Liz not doing things. Okay, but then she was at okay. Can we talk about after the challenge when she was talking to the group, and then like she's like about Q, he does nothing around camp, he's an asshole, and Venus is very sympathetic to this. And then like doesn't Q walk up right behind her when she's talking about him here? Like you see his feet come into the shot.
Q doesn't care though.
Q doesn't care. That crab was like touching its eye. That was a weird part.
It's like
scratched his eye. Guys, I think I've run out of things to talk about here. Like in terms of
this episode was very straightforward. Like
very straight. But we've only been on for 30 minutes. This is like unprecedented.
It just seemed, I don't know. It just seemed like one of those episodes that was. There wasn't enough content. Like I said, like they should have split up the reward and the challenge. They can't always rely on the social content to fill an hour and a half, especially when they're getting down in the numbers. They need to be a little more strategic, and like even like this episode would have been a great auction episode. Like, you know, like this would have been a good, like this would have been maybe next time. I don't know. That's kind of push. I don't know if that's pushing it.
We keep hoping.
We're hoping.
Like,
come on.
the problem. We keep putting it up, hoping it's going to happen.
We're going to final 7 next, maybe.
No, 6.
Are we down to 6 now?
They were 7 before the vote.
Left, so it'll be 6, okay. And then 5 going to the final episode, which is the first out and then
5 making.
Yeah. So like we're getting there. So like just once again, like it also seems like another thought, because we were talking about this last week, is, you know, we're building up to 50, you know, this new era. You know, I've said it before, and Dave mentioned the podcast, and I know Jameel's, you know, talked about it before as well. You know, they're gonna bring people back for 50, right? What I think is the new era only. And I think what they're trying to do is they're doing as many things as possible in a sense, in all of these seasons leading up to 50, between like 40 or 41 and 49, so that they can have they're trying to tweak it, right? But they're not trying to like perfect it just yet. Like they're trying to do different things and get like feedback in a sense, right? But I don't know, it almost seems like they're taking it a little more seriously in that regard, because like they're actually implementing the changes that people would want.
Well, maybe. Are they? Like it's like I'm a little.
No, I know that I understand like the hour and a half format, and the lack of supporting cast, if you will, right? But with regards to the tweaks, is what I'm talking about, is like they kind of scaled back the whole gimmicks in a sense. And I wish they had the title, but they don't have the gimmicks anymore. Like there's idols that are a little bit more straightforward. They they still added an extra step or two, but it wasn't like, you know, overly complicated.
There's a lockbox in your middle of the camp that has the idol in a birdcage. Figure out a way to get to the idol in the birdcage without anyone in your tribe. Like that whole stuff that wasn't there. They no longer had to break the hourglass and change the course of history.
Well, hey,
exactly.
You know, I got it.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, you go ahead.
No,
he's finding the clips so he can play.
Yeah.
No, the point I'm all trying to make is that like I feel like we're gonna nitpick a lot in these 40s, right? But I expect if 50 is a bomb, we're gonna have to have like a sit down conversation, because like this, you know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that this is like what they're trying to do, is they're just trying to try as many options as possible. You know, even if they're bad, just to get like the idea of like what's going to work best, right? And I'm not saying just 50. I'm hoping leading up to it, like 48 and 49 will be, even better. But it's I'd like to think that with the way that Jeff is especially involved in it, right, as the host, I feel like that impacts the show a lot. Because when there have been like when I'm trying to talk about is like with the challenge, as well, the host has been there for a really long time, right? And what that does is bring continuity to the show. And what the host does is that he's kind of the face of the show, and he kind of takes on that responsibility of like, I have actual impact and say as the show gets goes on, right? So they're trying to make it better, but at the same time is that they're also the face of the show. So they have to deal a lot with like the public, interest and if in a sense backlash, right? So like as the seasons have gone on, it's gotten you could say it's gotten better in this 40s because he's kind of reinvented himself and really put the effort in.
Yeah, well, I feel like as he has changed as a person. Like, of course, who doesn't over the course of their life, and in the place, just temperament wise that he's in right now, where he's handing out Twizzlers at Tribal. Season 1 probes, no way. Season 10 probes, no way. Even more so, maybe. So it's he said, I know people are saying, what's he doing? He's bringing cushions to the Tribal. He's got some, he wants to sit longer. Yeah, I think that I'm interested to see what the next like returning player season will actually feel like. Will it feel like one of those old seasons, or not? Because they overdid the returning player season so much where I was just happy to get a whole bunch of seasons where it was fresh crops of new players over and over again. Because, just like in Big Brother Canada, which I know we're not talking much about this year, but that season's got 2 returning players who are dominating things, and I don't like that either. So I think you have to either do it all returning or no returning, or maybe half and half is plausible, but like that's probably the best case you can do, like a blood versus water kind of situation. So yeah, with all that said, guys, let's eulogize Venus here with her exit interview, and to see if there's anything else we can gather.
I went home with an idol, but I'm proud of the journey I've gone on. I hope that I have made the women of Iran proud. I have 3 words that I want to say, which is women, life, freedom. I hope that I was one voice that helped uplift those who are voiceless. This was a wild ride, and I wouldn't take it back for a single thing.
I love how Q spelled Venus's name.
It's about like a penis.
Yes, that's exactly
Venise.
what I thought.
Penis, Venise,
D-nice.
Venise.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
you saw her squint when she saw her name written like that too, like the nice or whatever, like that. She's like, really? Yeah.
I think at this point he's just doing it to like for the lulz. I think he just doesn't care.
I feel like he's like deliberately trolling people like Liz and Venus, because he's like, you're never gonna be my friend anyway, so what do I care? He's like, and we're like, but like people like I'd say Maria and Charlie, they may not like Q, but they also don't think he's evil, or they don't try to paint him in this sort of monstrous way.
I think that when you hear the rumors that this season, this cast does not like each other, I think we're seeing the reasons why.
I'm glad. I don't want them to all be friends. I don't need that. Like, it's something else. Okay, well, guys, and let's take a look at the next episode's preview and see if that gathers any final thoughts here.
Tuesday. I've been in calm, but I need the storm.
Next time on Survivor.
I feel like I got a good friend.
I love her to death, but I have to vote her out.
This is going to be my favorite blind side of the season.
Something died in me today. It's going to light a fire under me.
Something died in her today. Yeah. I was like, do you have a parasite?
No, I think something happened in terms of a reward, and she really wanted it badly, and she didn't get it. Like maybe a family visit or Just imagine family visit. Maria's there, has her son, or was it daughter? Right? She has her children. She's a coach, mom coach, whatever, right? She loves her kids. And then Liz does something goes out of her way to make sure that she doesn't get it in revenge. Like Liz gets her daughter appears, or does she have a husband? No, she divorced.
Liz,
So let's say Liz's mother shows up.
But remember how Maria and Tim were bonded over being parents, right? Well, she doesn't have that bond with Liz.
Nope. It's great.
Yeah.
Let them all hate. Let the spice flow, as they say.
I get the thing I couldn't really believe a little bit too about the move by Maria was that you saw in the last episode, she goes to Liz and she says to Liz, like, I need you to get Tiffany out. Like this is our one chance to do it. So just from that standpoint, you think that okay, Liz, you put aside your need to vote out Q in the previous episode, and so in response to that, I'll take you on the reward. But no,
no.
That was truly stunning. Well, with that said, guys, we'll just do our final rundown. Make sure you check out our other podcasts, including the Mary Mater Marvel Society, which should be coming back soon for Deadpool 3.
Soon, like 90 days, bro.
It's soon. It's coming. So look out for that. Of course,
we would technically be into Big Brother USA at that point.
Okay, well, we'll be into that. The United Federation of Podcasts also features other shows like X-Rated, currently covering X-Men 97,
which I will be appearing next episode.
Yes, you're on next Tuesday.
Yes, E is for Extinction. Sorry, not E for Extinction. Tolerance is Extinction Part 2.
Tolerance is Extinction. Yeah, I was watching that newest episode. I was like, man, I feel like this might be even too serious for me. Like this is starting to get pretty weighty.
You know what they're adapting right now, technically?
Comic books.
Good answer. Spoiler free until Tuesday of next week.
Spoiler free. And also it's ambiguous in and how much I know about what's going on. Okay. Also check out our Star Trek channel, like Live Long and Podcasts, all kinds of Star Trek podcasts all the time. Trivial Debates, where we do debates and we have a game show format. Aiming on Track, where my son interviews supposedly Jaemeel Robinson for
I don't know when we're doing that episode. We kind of
well, he doesn't. Yeah, I feel like he's sort of. I need to get on him because I was like, oh yeah, his next show is Jaemeel.
Yeah, next show is Jaemeel. Jaemeel said I'll talk to him about it later. Yeah. Later has not come yet. So
since we're talking, Jaemeel, maybe you should come. So maybe I can nudge Jaemeel too. It's
Let's see. We already have what we're going to talk about on my episode that I'm going to be appearing on, and that is TLC's Crazy Sexy Cool.
Okay, well at least I know which album it's going to be. That's good. I don't know if Eamon would even be familiar with any of that.
He probably isn't.
Yeah,
which is fine. We can experience it again together for the first time for him.
Right? Is that no Scrubs on that?
No, that was on fan mail.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
I'm not. I don't
Waterfalls is on that.
Waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. You stick to the streams and the lakes that you're used to.
Yes.
You know that one, Foster?
No, unfortunately not, Dave. I'm sorry.
I love the delayed reaction. It's great, Foster. Another banger of a response. What else? Hey, did you see this one?
Great show.
Yeah.
They go down the rabbit hole on movies. If you like movies and you want some interesting takes, check out those guys. Yeah. And of course, Hold Up, the other movie guys, where they argue more about movies than talk about it.
Are they going to do the episode yet? Have they done the bicycle episode yet?
They did it. Oh yeah, it was. I who got more irritated with who? Go back and look. So
it's worth it just to see. Like you want to talk about a cast that possibly doesn't hate each other, that possibly hates each other. Hold Up. Sometimes you're like, you two are friends, right? Question mark. It's great. I love it. Hold Up.
Well, on that note, we'll say goodnight for tonight. A little earlier than normal, but that's okay. We got through the big moments in the episode, so it worked for me. Since Venus went out and she did not follow in the footsteps of her fellow Canadian Erica, well, maybe Erica should, and we were talking about that earlier. We'll let her take away on the quote. See you next time, everybody.
I smashed the hourglass and I changed the course of history.
But, all right, and with that note, it's pizza delivery.
Pizza delivery. Pepperoni. Hawaiian. Vegetarian. And gluten-free.
Gluten-free.
Plus soda.
Yeah, I'm fighting
We're
today.
playing for
Today.